Nancy and I have been married 53 years now and have been richly blessed all those years. We try to share those blessings with others through many different ways, including how we give. We tried to remember when or where we started giving, and we really couldn't remember. We just always have. We love the idea of helping meet the needs of others. Even our small gifts in the beginning made a difference in some people's lives. In Acts 20:35, Jesus tells us, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." We found this to be true. Giving brought joy to our lives, a sense of purpose. It made us feel that we were living in God's plan for our lives. There was a time in our lives when we were not attending church. That year, we decided to write checks to several charities. One of those was the Salvation Army. It was near Christmas, and the volunteer was ringing the bell as we dropped our envelope into the kettle. We still smile today, many years later, as we picture a volunteer opening that envelope and finding our check. As the years went on, we continued to increase our giving. I retired in 2007 and moved to Florida in 2008. If you recall, this is the year the stock market decided to plummet. This was not our plan. We talked it over and decided to continue with our giving. As in the past, we found that if we wrote our check to God first, He provided for our needs. Maybe not all our wants, but our needs.
I remember a time when our church was raising money for a new building. We had just purchased a house and didn't have enough furniture to fill it. After talking it over together, we wrote a check to the church to help with the building fund. The following week, a friend called saying there was a yard sale across the street from her house. She knew I loved yard sales. As we drove over and got closer to her house, I could see the yard sale that she was talking about. But what got my attention was the house next door. There at the curb was a cherry triple dresser with an attached mirror, and the sign said, "Free." After checking with the homeowner, he reassured me, "Yes, it's free. I'm cleaning out the garage and have no use for it now." That same afternoon, our neighbor across the street called. They had just purchased a patio set from our next door neighbor, and they needed help moving it. As Dave was moving it, he asked, "What are you going to do with the old one?" The neighbor replied, "Put it on the curb." So you guessed it, the patio set was carried to our house. We have found that by being faithful and trusting God, our needs continue to be met. One of the reasons we give is to show how grateful we are to God. God gave us the greatest gift, His Son. When we give to others, we are following His example. Everyone's giving will be different. Giving generously isn't about the size of our gift. It's about giving from the heart. And giving isn't just about finances. It's your time and your talents. Dave and I give with a sense of joy, not a sense of duty. We love giving to Suntree because we know of all the outreach programs they support and how they impact so many lives. I think of Harbor City and how this outreach has grown. It's like the miracle of the loaves and fishes. As the need increases, so does our outreach.
We hope that we have passed this sense of giving on as a legacy. Our grand-twins recently had a fundraiser for a local food bank. Our granddaughter decided to read books and collect sponsors for her reading. Emails went out to family and friends, and we all watched on Zoom as she read to us. She raised a significant amount of money, and she and her brother experienced the joy of giving back.
2 Corinthians 9:7 reads, "Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." And it continues in verse 8, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. As you decide what you can give, we can't promise you a triple dresser or a patio set. But if you put God first and put your faith and trust in Him, He will provide.